The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show. CamiBaker.com here. I am your guest host today, and I am super excited, as I always am super excited, but this time I'm even more super excited because the couple that I have with me on the show are not only wonderful cause marketing business folks, they have turned out to be wonderful friends of mine and just really heart-centered, bring a lot of talents and inspiration to the table. So I want to introduce you to Joe and Cheryl Crowlley. They are the owners of Breakaway in Danvers, and they have so many other things up their sleeve as well. Joe, share with our viewers a little bit about yourself and what brings you and Cheryl here to talk about the cause marketing movement.
Well, thank you for having us, and my wife brought me here because she drove, so I was in the passenger seat. We're great to be here today. We got to know you over the last 6 months or so, and we love what you do, and every chance that we get to get out there and talk about what we do for our businesses, we like to get out, and it's great to be here.
Yeah, so now you are a business owner or a restaurateur for many years before you grabbed a hold of Breakaway. Tell us a little bit about how acquiring Breakaway happened about 3 years ago and what that whole transformation looked like.
Well, we've been in business in Malden since I was 23, and we grew our pizzeria through the community, Pizza in Malden, from 1993 on, and we were looking for another adventure, and we kind of stumbled on that property. We live up in that area. We've always both liked live entertainment, and the building just has a feel to it. It's got a lot of history. It was an epic building back in the 70s and 80s, and it just went through a couple of decades of downturn, and it needed someone to come in there and lift it up. It was a heavy lift, but we're almost 3 years into it, and we couldn't be happier.
Now, Cheryl, he said this was a new adventure. Is that what you would call the process?
Very much so, Cami. I'm so sorry. I have a little bit of a cold, but yes, totally different than my career, which was working in research for many years, and actually over 10 years. And so I came aboard to help my husband with Breakaway, which has turned out to be a pleasant surprise for me. I've got to meet some wonderful people, and with Breakaway I've got to do some of my passions, which help people raise money. We've done a lot of fundraising and helping within the community, because to us, we were based in Malden and we did a lot of stuff in Malden, and to come on the North Shore and be right on Route 1 and to be able to do what we do in our building, which is 3 facets to it. We have live entertainment, a club, we have a tavern, and we have function halls. So we have 3 different businesses going right on Route 1, and we, you know, my husband actually has resurrected this building, and we've been able to bring it to its glory again, and we're really happy about it. So
yes, you have brought it to its glory. I don't know if I shared with you, but I owned a place very similar to yours in Panama City Beach, Florida. And when I took it over, it was kind of the same thing. It had fallen into disrepair. That building was built in the 30s as the U.S. Cavalry Station way back when, and it had been a bar and a restaurant and a gas station over the years. And it's kind of the same thing. I thought I had resurrected it, but I couldn't get rid of the bad name that place had. It just had a bad reputation over the years, but you guys have been able to grab a hold of that place, and really, I mean, it's so transformed. I didn't see it before, but I know when I go in there, the energy is great, the aesthetics are nice, the people that you have working for you, you've done a great job hiring your staff. What do you think is a skill or a trick or a trade, something that you brought into this building that helped you to transform it like that?
The business is I always say it's a simple business that people make complicated. And it might not seem it because I bang my head off the wall more days. Like, there's a lot of hats to wear. There's a lot of things that come up, but you don't want to complicate it. It's about people. It's about people when they go out and they're spending their money and they're spending their time, quality time together. Our market is a lot of married couples whose kids are getting older. They're kind of getting back out. We have a whole segment of people that may be single again for the first time or second time that are coming out. You have to be cognitive of who's coming to your building, and they just they want a place to go where they feel good, where people, right from when you walk in, you feel welcome. The food's good, the atmosphere's good, the entertainment. A big part of the building is the live entertainment, and we've grown that through about 3 stages over the years, the first 3 years, and we're the leading live entertainment place north of Boston, and
yes, you
and
are.
It's only getting bigger.
And you have fabulous onion rings. I had an event there last week, had a bunch of people with me, and everything that we had was wonderfully delicious, huge portions, and homemade onion rings that were to die for. So talking about people and having that energy be just right, that says a lot. You know, your employees are always very welcoming and you know, honoring the clients for being there, which is also in part because of your heart-centeredness and your ability to use cause marketing, which I know we've talked about that. Cheryl was so excited to share with me that you had read my book and that you don't read much, but you read the book. And I put a name to it, and now we can put a name to it, because I was doing it too for 12, 15 years, cause marketing, meaning using a cause as a way to promote yourself and your business, cause and market, and now I use it as the cause marketing movement. Share with me how you knew, because this was something you were intuitively doing also, didn't have a name for it, but how did you know that giving back to the community was the right thing to do?
Well, back in '93, we were young, not a lot of money. I think I had $300 left the day I opened my pizzeria. So we needed to be different, and we needed to stand alone. That there's too many places that blend together, and working through the community and working through causes, people will come to us and they need funding for this or funding for that, or they needed to feed 50 kids and they didn't have a budget, or the budget was wiped out, and we were able to, at very, very early stages of our business, we were able to fill that gap. And immediately, I have a background in marketing, and a lot of people think that marketing is sales, and it's so very different. And marketing is advertising. It's 2 different worlds. And cause marketing is it creates tremendous loyalty. So we've been doing it for 25 years, and we've been doing it for 3 years at the Breakaway, and it creates unbelievable. It creates friendships and loyalty, and at the business in Malden, we're going on our 3rd generation of people that know what we do, because we helped their kids, and we helped them when they were a kid. Whether I volunteered at Malden Catholic to teach an entrepreneur class and help them establish a fake business to learn the skills. And I have a lot of guys that come into Breakaway that are in their late 20s, early 30s that say, you taught my class back at Malden Catholic. And that's part of cause marketing. It's not part of selling, but it's marketing in your brand and getting it into the community and really creating that image for yourself and your business. And when I read your book and I see what you do and you put a name to it, I love it, because for me it's the only way I've ever grown a business.
Well, and it's win-win-win. Win-win-win for everybody, for the organization, for your business, and for the people that we get involved in our cause marketing. One of my clients, John Morton, really brought to my attention. He said, Cami, when I started working with you, I wanted a personal brand, and I wanted to lead generate, and I wanted to be seen as a business leader. He said, and at the same time, now that he's so entrenched in doing cause marketing, he says, I feel like such a contribution to the world. And he said, when we do an event and people come and they help volunteer and they're part of it, he said, I can see them like lighting up and being on fire about being a contribution. And there's such a shift in energy on the planet of people that want to be on purpose. You know, used to when we were growing up, we thought we'd work at the same company for 30 years, get a gold watch, and the government would take care of you forevermore. And not only is that not happening, but people don't want that to happen. They want to live on purpose. And so, you know, when people know that your business is on cause as opposed to someone else's, they'll do business with you.
Yeah, we find that there's a big difference, and some people try to do it, but it's not in them. It's not in their heart. That's like you were just saying. You can't just put a switch on and say, oh, wow, they're making money up here, so we're going to be a cause marketing company. It doesn't work that way. You either have to, it has to be part of what you do or not. And like you said, you make a difference. We've done so many fundraisers in 3 years at Breakaway for people that are dying, memorials for people that have died, young children that have died, memorial scholarship funds, cancer walks, breast cancer awareness, the hurricane down in Houston. There's so many things that go on. At the end of the day, we brand, the business can make money, we can raise funds for the cause that we're looking to raise for, and everybody leaves that day happy. And it feels so much better than a regular event. And it works, and we have a building that's set up for that, and we're taking advantage of that.
Taking advantage, and I love that you said that, because I'll say that, let's take advantage, let's have the advantage, not take advantage, but have the advantage in the marketplace. So for example, tomorrow night, we are doing an event together, and the proceeds are going to veterans. And with Veterans Day coming up, what is it about the veterans that really speaks to you?
Well, Cheryl's dad was a World War II veteran. Korean War, and he's buried down in Cape Cod in the
National Cemetery in Bourne.
And Cheryl's always, since the day I met her, spoke very highly of her dad. I have relatives that are veterans. I have friends that are veterans. My generation, you grew up, you respected the veterans, and it's just a great cause. These guys, especially in today's day and age, the young kids that I see that are putting themselves in harm's way, and they're probably not getting the respect that they deserve in the national media or some of the younger generations. And with Veterans Day coming up, we want to do something for the homeless veterans. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of guys that just can't get it together. We can't fix the world, but we can give them a sleeping bag. You know, we can't fix the world, but we can get them food. And if everybody does a little bit of something, then hopefully a lot of these veterans can find their own way out. And but they need time, and they need people to give them what they need. And we have a venue. We're going to put a great day together. It's going to be comedy, live band, food. We're going to work with the local Danvers Veterans Organization, as well as some other homeless veteran organizations. And it's a great cause. These men and women, they're the reason why we have the freedom we have. And when they're struggling, when they get home, everybody should do what they can to help them out.
I know you've met some of my other clients, and we're talking about what to call their event. And I said, you know, something along the lines of, they fought for us, let's fight for them.
Excellent.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because ours right now is Heroes for Heroes. You know, there's so many plays on words that we can use, but truly, they are our heroes, and we can now rally and be the heroes for them. Let's talk about your venue and all the different rooms that you have there for people that are watching that are like, what is this Breakaway place? And they go to look it up. Like, how big are your function rooms? How many people can you hold? You know, what can people that are looking for a venue to have their events at, what can they expect? You have a huge parking lot. You're right on that really visible street. Let's talk about what you can offer there.
I'll let you in.
Okay. We brought a video together about a year ago, and it was called What is Breakaway? And we posted it on our website and our Facebook, because the question when people kept asking is, what is Breakaway? It's this big building that sits up top of the hill on Route 1 in Danvers. And when you're driving up to it, they're like, well, is it a restaurant? Is it a nightclub? It is large. It's about 18,000 square feet. We have 2 official function rooms that hold up to 200, and the other one holds up to about 85. We have a nightclub that holds 400, that also doubles as a function room. We have a tavern that's open every day, lunch and dinner, and we have a full patio that we've been doing music all summer on, and we'll continue into next summer doing music on. So there's a lot going on. We host everything from weddings to birthday parties to a lot of the local high school youth events, if they're end of season sports banquet. But we have the rooms for that, and it's great. And we do Breakaway hosts paint nights. We have musical bingo. We have karaoke, and then we have the bands in the nightclub. So it's we call it the adult Chuck E. Cheese. There's
That's
always
a good
we
one.
don't have a ball pit, but there's always something going on, and it's a busy atmosphere, and it's a fun atmosphere.
It's become family like Pizza Pizza in Malden. We were there 25 years. So we have customers coming in from, from Malden. But Breakaway didn't feel like family when we first moved there. And I think through cause marketing, we were able to host amazing fundraisers that feel good inside. Made me feel proud to be part of it. But more importantly, some of the customers that come into Breakaway, we've developed relationships with. And one particular gentleman comes to mind. His name's Bill, and he'll know I'm talking about him. He loves live entertainment, and he basically told me, and he's a veteran, so I thank him for his service, but he told me that Breakaway saved his life because of the live music that he so enjoys. He's actually helped us market a few events. He always does. He's amazing. And so that's how Breakaway became family. Like it made me feel good to be part of it, to be able to help out. And yes, we want to make money. Everybody does. But you have to feel good. You have to love what you do. And some of the people that work for us, that are part of us, like Dan Musio, who was used to run the King's Grant. I was a general manager. He also ran the Andover Country Club. We have a wealth of people that work with us. We have amazing chefs. We have a function coordinator that's wonderful that comes in, and Sue
Sue is fabulous.
Yes, she's wonderful, and she's charming. She comes in and she knows how to create. So we have a great team of wonderful bartenders that come in and serve, like Tara, and I don't want to forget to mention names, but we have a great team. It's become a family. It took 3 years.
It did.
I left and quit a few times, but I love them all.
I had to go get her and say, you can't quit. You got to come back.
You're the captain of the ship, man. You're not going anywhere.
You can't quit.
But I'm proud of
she's
it.
literally walked out. And
Well-
on the early days, it's very difficult. Any business in the early days, you have growth, and you're going to stumble. No matter how versed you are in what you do, you're going to make mistakes. You have to build a crew. It's not as busy, so maybe the crew isn't always making money. So it's got to be about more than money in the beginning. They have to understand what your goals are, and they have to have a belief that you're going to achieve them. And we do. We have people that have been with us since the beginning, since we, a Tuesday or Wednesday night where there really wasn't anything going on, to now that all of a sudden on a Friday or Saturday night there's 700 people in the building. There's a wedding on one floor, and there's a band on another, and there's things coming and going through the building, and it is difficult to get started. And a lot of the fundraisers that we did in the community events that we hosted early on, they got people through the doors. They got them to meet us. They saw what we were about. They saw the facility and got to taste the food and see the atmosphere. And in that part of the cause marketing, it generated, if you call it a lead, it generated the people, it generated the traffic, and it really was the backbone of the first couple of years.
I'm glad that you mentioned that there are struggles, but you get through it, and that how using the cause marketing got people through the door. When I'm working with people on a cause marketing campaign, I let them know this isn't get rich quick scheme. This isn't, turn around and make $100,000 your first month. This is about planting seeds, but the right seeds, the seeds that turn into apple trees and will feed you for generations to come. You mentioned the live music and how that saved that gentleman's life. I had a woman that I interviewed here that helps to put live entertainment with venues, and she talked about how music just really transforms people's lives, and it can be a lifesaver for people. And I know that you have some really big names coming. So you mentioned that you've gone through a few phases getting to this point. Talk about that.
So when we first took over, the reputation of the facility was so bad that bands were saying no. We could get a regular cover band to come in, but a lot of the bigger bands were saying no. We convinced a few of them that we were going to be different, and they came in, they played there, they had some success early on, and it really is, it's amazing where we are now compared to them. We hooked up with Brian Mays. We love Brian. Brian's the most humble musician, great guy, storied history now on the national stage. Everybody knows and respects him. He came aboard and did an open mic every Tuesday night, which we're now a couple years into. We have everything from an 8-year-old drummer to Barry Gaudreau, formerly of Boston, have been through, Charlie Farron. You know, it's such a awesome open mic during the summer. 140, 150 people come in there. People get a chance to sing. Bands audition on a Tuesday night. Now we went to some regional bands, which is some tribute bands that play throughout the New England area. Then we reached out to bands that play throughout the country. The tribute bands have been great. Now we signed on with the national promoter within the last few months, and we're planning our first national acts. And we will really be the only live entertainment venue in the state that does everything from a 10-year-old musician to a national musician. You know, you can come on a Tuesday and see a kid getting up on stage and playing. Thursday nights are going to be young bands, up and coming, future stars. We're going to save that night and really highlight the local North Shore, Boston bands. And we've noticed that the families come out in droves. They want to see the kids play. And into the regional bands and to the national bands, you'll see we're working to try to get Blue Oyster Cult and John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band and possibly Rick Springfield. These are guys that we're working on, and it's that type of level that we will be bringing in, along with our Dirty Deeds, which is my wife's favorite band. So these tribute bands, they're great. And the live music scene, the musicians appreciate that they have a place that's treating them right, that they know live music's alive and it's here. And we're going to use the live music to do scholarship days, where we can raise money for music scholarships for local high schools. We've used it for hurricane relief. We used it for a musician maybe that's ill or in need. We're going to use it for the Veterans Day fundraiser. So music goes hand in hand with raising money. People get to come out. They love live music. They unwind. And it's a great atmosphere. And we've done a lot of work to the facility to really make it a nice room for these guys to play. It's not a restaurant that's converted to a live music venue. It's separate from our tavern. And that is the nightclub. That is the live music venue.
Which used to be the barn.
Which we still call it the barn.
And who
it's
played
a
at the
barn.
barn before?
Oh, Linda Ronstadt, B.B. King. There's a list of famous musicians that played there in the 70s. And some famous jazz musicians. And we're going to bring that history back. You know, we're going to bring these people back. And we've already had, Ray Green from Santana and Barry Gaudreau from Boston, Charlie Farron from Fahrenheit and the Joe Perry Project, and many more names that have been through, and many more names that are going to come through.
Mention your website so people know where to go look.
BreakawayDanvers.com. You can also find us on our Facebook page, Breakaway Danvers. We post everything on there. We have a ticket link on there. We're open every day but Monday. Come by and check us out. And if you're looking for a venue to host an event, give us a call and we can put it together for you.
And not only live music, but we've touched a little bit on the comedians. So you got a whole comedy brigade too. Tell us about that.
Well, Dave Russo we contacted him 3 years ago, and 2.5 years ago when we were getting going, and we did a lot of comedy as a fundraiser venue. So a lot of these groups would call up, they would do a fundraiser, a comedy fundraiser night. And I always knew Dave. I knew he was funny. I knew he was a good guy, but I never realized his level of professionalism. And he took over that side of the comedy program at Breakaway, and we've hosted dozens and dozens of comedy nights up there. And you were at the last one. It was hilarious. There's never been a bad comedy night. And
Place was packed out.
Yeah.
Everybody was laughing, having some cocktails.
it was a good night. So we have a lot of room to grow on the comedy side. We're going to try to blend it with the live music to give people a full night out, dinner, comedy, live band, get that full experience at Breakaway. And Dave is a big part of, and he has brought in everything from local, regional to national comics up at Breakaway also.
That's one of the great things about Breakaway is you can do all of those things. You can spend a whole day. It's Chuck E. Cheese or Chunkies or something for these kind of the Disney World, the little tiny Disney World. So what's coming for Breakaway? What's next?
Well, we have the nightclub. We want to finish the renovations for. We really want to make it physically that place to go. So we have a few more things to do in there. The live entertainment, the national acts that are going to be coming in. We're spending as much time, if not more, on the young musicians, giving them a place to play, giving them a venue, giving them a platform. We're hoping that one of them gets very, very famous and just comes back on a regular basis.
Right.
We're going to continue to grow all three phases: our function department, and our wedding packages, and our event packages. We're going to continue to grow our tavern with our patio, and we're going to continue to grow the nightclub as a live music venue.
Well, I know for me as a business person to be able to do business with a venue that is receptive, that is easy to get along with and get a hold of. You know, Sue, the other day I was sitting in your parking lot and I got a call from Breakaway and I answered it. She said, "Hey, this is Sue from Breakaway." I said, "Hey, this is Cami. I'm in your parking lot. I'll be right in." But you know, it's really important to have people that will communicate with you and give you that personal service. And putting together a team like that is something that needs to be acknowledged.
Our general manager he was there when we bought the building. He left to pursue some other goals that he had, and then he came back. And it was a blessing that he came back, because it was a struggle to get that type of continuity and that type of team. And it was the struggle. It was really on top of both of us. And in the last year, he's really, we don't hire bartenders from without. We train bartenders. We train the person that's willing to clean the table and move a table, a young girl, young guy. We're giving people the first opportunities, and it's worked out remarkable. It's really a good formula.
It really has. I mean, it's apparent just walking through the door that you've hired the right people, you've done the right thing, it's got the right energy, and you know, I'm flat out excited to be doing an event with you guys tomorrow night. We'll be having appetizers and comedy with Dave Russo, and then I'll be speaking about how to double your business in half the time by using your business as a force for good, which is exactly what Breakaway has done. So CamiBaker.com here thanking you for being on the Happiness Jungle with us. It's a jungle out there, but we're happy because we use cause marketing. Thanks for being on, guys.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.